Using Google Sheets. So as we know, Google Sheets is Google's version of Microsoft Excel, which with both softwares allow you to create and format spreadsheets. Spreadsheets we know being layout of information arranged in rows and columns in a table. The biggest advantage of spreadsheets is its ability to calculate numbers using formulas or what's also called expressions. We'll get to those near the end of this video and a lot in class. We have our rows, which are the horizontal spaces with numbers. So we have row 1, row 2, and row 3. And we have our columns, which are the vertical spaces that are alphabetically placed. We have column A, B, column C, and column D. Where rows and columns meet, they create a cell. Okay, so where it says price here, this is where column B and row 3 meet. The cell name is its letter and row number. So this cell name for the cell that has price is B3. Cell range, that is two cell names represented by a colon, all right, a range of cells. So if I have where it says $69.99 and I highlight all the way down to $67, instead of saying B4, B5, B6, etc., I would just, this cell range would be called B4 colon B10. Okay. Easier for me to show you visually written out. We'll get to that in class, but with Excel and with Google Sheets, a lot of terms that you're going to see when doing your projects and activities. You can upload from Excel and convert to Google Sheets, just like with PowerPoint or with Word. You can share and edit. We have our share button here, in which we can have a lot of different people working on the same spreadsheet, which you'll be doing in class when we get into groups. Since Google Sheets deals with a lot of numbers, there are different ways to format our numbers. Okay, you can go to the Format tab, okay? And if you hover over number, we can view our numbers as plain numbers, as percents, as currency. You see that a lot with accountants, and also as financial. You would see on balance sheets, those who are more into accounting, okay? So I can format these numbers. I put these numbers 1 and 2 on the side just for the demonstration of this video. You can go into format or just go to the toolbar. It has a lot of the same options that we've seen on docs, but here with the $ sign, we can format as currency. So if I had that selected, change that to $2. Let me undo. Format as a percent. Then I can, of course, increase and decrease those decimal places if I want to show 2 cents or just whole dollars. I have that here. There are more formats by the 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we can also do date and time, duration, however you were formatting. So say for those who run track, okay, probably your format would probably be duration when looking at your 800 or mile time. All right, if your coach wanted to create a spreadsheet of all your different race times. Of course, we have our font size, bold, italicized, strike through, okay, text color, just like in Google Docs. With Google Sheets, okay, and what I use for, let me slide over, for row cell range, I should say AE through E3, okay, I use this icon fill color, okay, and if you hover over each color, they have the specific own name. So this one I used was light magenta 3. All right, you want to use colors and bold to make it pop. So people's eyes goes right to what you have colored or filled or bold, etc. Here we have borders. If I want to highlight borders, make them more bold, okay, I can do that for all borders. I could just do it for the inner borders, etc. All right, and also I can change the border color. We can see here I have the outside and inside. I could have made those specific color instead of just black. And I also have border style, which is just straight lines, dotted lines, etc. This icon here, which is not highlighted just yet, is merge cells. And I did that for row 1. Okay. Let me undo this first just to quickly show this merge. All right, unmerge. You can see for that classroom budget, the title of this, for this, keep saying Excel, Google Sheet, all right, doesn't really fit as well. If I want to merge across a row of cells, I would just click and highlight, all right, where I want it to be merged and centered. What merge does, it combines two or more cells within a single rectangular area into a single cell. You can do 2, 3, 4, however many cells you would like to merge. And when I click the merge in cells icon, I click the drop down to the right of it and I merge horizontally, and it's merged and centered right where I want my title to be. Here we have our horizontal alignment, vertical alignment. This is our text wrapping. So you can see some of my text might go over the cell. And if I want to bring all of this underneath, I'm on cell E5. I would just click the text wrapping. Now you can see it's overflow, but if I want to bring it underneath, I can just select wrap, and it brings it all underneath into the same cell. No need to enter or use space. Okay, and there's also a third type here called clip. Then we have our insert link, comment, charts, filters, and functions, which I'll get to later on in the video, and really we'll get into that in class. And one icon I did miss that I just noticed is this vertical alignment. So we have our horizontal, which we horizontal left, center, or right. But in a Google Sheets, we can vertical align, whether you want top, middle, or bottom, depending on where you want your numbers in a cell. So the biggest thing I said with Google Sheets is using formulas, okay? And you can do that by using the function here. And Google Sheets has programmed for us the sum, average, okay, which the sum is just the sum of a bunch of numbers, whatever cell range that you decide on to add the sum. We can also complete the average. We can also have Google Sheets count, which counts the total number of values in a cell range, and then max, which returns the maximum value in a range, and the min function, which returns the minimum value in a range. So just to show, I have all these prices here, okay, from B4 to B10, and if I want to complete the total, all right, what I would do is just highlight and drag, have all the numbers that I want to compute highlighted, and if I go to functions and I select sum, okay, it will place the formula right there for us, already done. So we would just hit enter, and Google Sheets completes the sum, which is $319.04. All right. You can either do it that way using the functions here, and there's also a bunch of more functions. But if I want to do it by hand, all right, every function, I should say formula, starts with an equal sign. Okay. And what I can do, I would click the equal sign, and then I can click on each cell. So I'd click on this cell, and I would put the plus sign B5, plus sign B6, and I can continue going on and on and on. And then when I select the last cell, I can then hit enter, and it will compute that way. It's kind of the longer way. Or you can just hit equal sign. Remember, when you start a formula or expression, it starts with the equal sign. And then if you begin to type what you would like to do, so if I'm typing in sum, we can see all the different types of formula begin to pop up. And Google gives you a quick summary right beneath it when you hover your pointer over it. So a way to compute, okay, and the biggest, as I said before, advantage with these spreadsheets is using formulas, and we'll be using a lot of them because that's really why you use Excel and now getting used to Google Sheets. Okay. One other thing, okay, is resizing columns and rows. You can see a couple of my column headings are a little off. As we can see here, this means to be reimbursed, and maybe a word after it. To do so, you want to take the icon, drag your pointer in between the two columns, and you get this icon with the two lines. I could just then click and drag and make my columns bigger. Or what you can also do is double click, and Google Sheets auto formats it to fit all of my contents in that cell. We'll go more into detail in class, kind of the basics of using Google Sheets.